Hey everyone, welcome to this new episode. In this episode and the coming episodes, I'm planning to do a full session about database introduction. It's core introduction, but we have some, hardcore knowledge to be preached to you. For example, instead of teaching you what is a database, how database works, I feel like why not creating a database from the scratch? And the software that we're going to use is called Microsoft Access. So during this process, we're going to experience how to use SQLs, what is a database, what is the data type, how do you define a database structure, all sorts of things. So by doing that, I think this is the best practice for you to enhance the knowledge in terms of database, which will help you and benefit you in the long run when you have any other data work or question later on, because database is the fundamental knowledge that has been provided in many industries and also working environments. You can't avoid that because you can think about using Excel, connect to a database, use SQL, retrieve a database, download information from a database. So there's a lot of usage of that. But before we dive into that specifics operation in the software, I'm going to talk about in this very first part, we're going to talk about what are we going to create. So we're going to create a real database. Let's just call it a DB. This real database will have a specific purpose because database is mainly for storage of information. But why you think about I need a database to store information, why not just on the spreadsheet? The reason is that the database has a better scalability compared to the Excel spreadsheet. Because Excel spreadsheet, you can define a relationship, but it's not that feasible and also scalable. But in a database, you will have multiple tables. Each table, they're talking about a specific topic. For example, let's just make the retail example. In the retail, think about your business flow would be you will have a customer, you will have your staff. You also have, say, what kind of product you provide to the customer. You also have the information about your logistics side and the warehouse side. And in terms of the product that you sell, you also purchase them from your supplier. So you have your supplier information. So there's a lot of information that we can group them by topic. So in a database, especially in a relational database, things have been scattered into different topics. For example, to set up company first, you need to recruit enough people for the operation. So you have a table called staff. In order to import goods and able to sell that, you need to have a table for product, right? And also, since you purchase these goods and you go sell out, so you're going to chase the money from your customer. So you're going to have an invoice table, or we call this as an order table. You also have information to capture, okay, who placed what? So which customer placed which order? So you have a customer table. So by generally think about your daily operation of your business, you're able to group the concept, say, into subcategory. For example, we have table for staff, we have table for product, we have table for order, we have a table for... But when you think about a database, you really need to think about the business operation in very detail. That's where we're gonna do in the software specifically. Okay, let's open the Microsoft Access, which is here, to design our very first database. When you open that, you'll see there's some, say, blank database, but also you're able to explore more template. Here we're going to do everything from scratch, so we choose a blank one. Once you choose blank, you can give a name. Today we're talking about a retail company. We're going to use this database to facilitation of their invoice in practice. When we're back to this picture, invoice practice, let's just create a new one. In terms of invoice practice, think about disregard database, relational database, think about business logic. So what is the flow that? So you have a customer who go into your website to find an interesting product, and then he places the order, right? Once this order is placed, you'll receive that order information. You prepare the goods and you ship it out, right? Once you ship it out, you're going to chase money from the customer and say, hey, you need to pay that. So you got payment received. Simple as that, right? So you have several steps about the flow. Customer going to a website, find an interesting product, place the order, you receive the information, you ship it out, and receive payment. Simple as that. In terms of digitalization, how we group those information into different tables, you're going to think about this way. So you probably need at least a table for customer. Do you need a table for website? No, you don't. But also you need a table for product, right? And once the order is placed, so this step we call it order, right? place the order. Once the order is placed, you're gonna send it out. So this part probably involves some warehouse design, and then you also have to handle the payment, which you probably have a register say what money has been received against a particular order. So our design will capture this whole flow during this whole series of episodes. But this first episode, we're gonna focusing on just creating those tables and link them back in software. So let's jump back to the software. So here we can say, let's just say we're gonna create an order system. Once you open this software, you can see there's some blank tables. This is table 1. You can remove this one so you have no tables. We're gonna jump in straight, create some tables. So for this table, you can right click here, go into the design view, we give it a name. So let's start with the customer. So think about customer. Customer has, for each of the table, the main topic that described in the table has to be unique itself. In our case, the table for each line item for the customer, each line has to be no similarity. For example, this is talking about customer A. This cannot be talking about customer A again. So all the information with customer A will be captured and finished within this one row, and then we jump to another customer, so on and so forth. So in the same way, we need to make sure this column is not duplicated. By default, this already makes sense by setting up this key. You can see that there's a key on the left-hand side, which means this is the primary key of this table. So it's the main identifier for this whole table. So we can rename this as a count. Let's use the full name, cast ID. It will be auto-numbered. So this will be increased by 1 whenever we have a new customer. That's fine. For the second one, we're going to capture the first name of the customer, and then we do the last name. You can short text because nobody has a very long name, that we just make this very simple database, simplifies the process, and then probably we need to capture the email, right? Think about your future of your table. Since you're going to ship these goods out of your warehouse to the customer, so you also need to capture the address. Address is a little bit hard to capture. You can't just type address. We'll leave it like, say, cities. What city you provide will also have the, say, the suburb. After suburb is the, say, the postcode. After the postcode, we're going to come to the address. Exactly. So we dismantle the address information into 4 buckets: city, suburb, postcode, address. In that way, we can capture most grand data, so we can do more things over that. But also we introduce more about the data validation process. Then we think about the data type for each column. For the first column is always going to be the out number. Second, short text is fine. This one we can specific say this will be a hyperlink. We can use that later on as an email address. So when you click that, there will some action happen. That's fine. This one we can say hyperlink. For the city part, just short text. That's fine. Suburb, postcode, address. Okay. So once we're done, we close that. You say we'll save. So yes. So the first table has been done. We're back to this. This one has been done. Then we come to the product. So for a particular customer, they won't find an interesting product. So we just create a new table, say product. When going to the design view, we call this product. This is going to be product ID. Product ID, and then we come to the product name. Also have a product description, right? Product name, product description, and product code. Or we can say we remove this product name. Product code will cover that. That's fine. So we move this to the top, and we just let's just keep this. We can have a later discussion. What else a product has? For this case, we're going to say product price, right? But think about the complexity of a reality. For product has a price, but it will have a constant price or not? It will not, because product price involve 2 things: selling price and purchase price. Your purchase price is going to be fluctuated based on the whole environment of the economy and also the deal with the supplier. And also your selling price depending on promotion, seasonality, all sorts of things. So there's several levels behind that 2 prices. So to make it simple, we just make saying this is going to be selling price and the purchase price. We'll simplify that. So the code, we can leave that short text. For the selling price, we can make this a little bit validated by saying this is going to be a number. This is going to be a number as well. Once we've done this, we close that and say, now back to here. We've done the product, we have done the customer. Now we come to the order. Think about the order. We can create another table called order. The order table called this order ID. You know what I think about? You have order ID, which is referencing the order number. They're the same thing. Now you have order date. So when the customer make the purchase. This will be the date time. You probably don't need date time. We can make it simpler, just date time, yes. And then think about the order table will capture who is placing the order, which is the cost. So this will be referencing back to the ID, which will be the one that we have in this. So this will be a number, because when we go into the customer, if we say design view, can see the customer ID is auto number. So we make sure the data type, when you link back to a table, they're actually the same data type, right? We close this, and this will be the number. Think about adding information that if we want to capture from this order. So when you're placing an order, think about what kind of information you left. As long as we have the customer ID in the order table, I'm able to retrieve any information that relate to that customer. Customer name, customer last name, customer email address, customer physical address will all be captured here because I got a key, so I can find that in the custom table. So this table can be simple as that. Okay. Now we come to a place that how the customer gonna place an interesting item or multiple interesting item against the one order. So looks like there's a structure saying I have one order. In this order, we have multiple line items. So think about your purchase behavior. You add all your interesting pending to purchase item into one cart, you check it out. So one order has many order line items. So one order has many order line items. So in that way, we need to create a child table of this mother table. So the mother table is going to be called order table. We already have done that. So we need to create another one, which is order item table. It's going to be the order item ID. First, we link back to the order table. So we know that how this is going to be linked back by the order ID. So for each of the line item in the same order, they will capture the same order ID, right? So this will be the number as well. Then think about in this order line item, back to here, order line item, what kind of information we're going to capture? Think about that. Okay, so first we have the order ID, we already have that, right? Second, what kind of product has been placed against this, right? At what quantity, right? Do I need a price? No, the price information is already reviewed in the product table. So it will capture for that order, this line item, what kind of product you have been placed and at what quantity. That's it, right? Order quantity. And this will be the product ID. Let's just make this a little bit up. You just need to make sure every ID column that you called out, make sure they're number format, data type, so it can be linked back to. And then we have this order quantity. In the order quantity, how we do the data type. The data type here will be pretty simple. We just need to be a number, but it will be an integer later. We can do that later on, but now it's just a number. Now I have done it. Close that. Save. Now if we look at the data tools, we have relationships. This one, you can ignore them. And if I bring all of this into here, that's the map we have. So first, we have a customer. He coming into the store and saying, I'm interested in a particular product. I'm going to add this to my order item. And then that will form part of the order. So you can see all of the one with the key is actually the primary key. Any other ID column in the table will be the foreign key because they will reproduce multiple times for that particular table. Okay, so now we come to link them back together, but this will be our next episode, and see you guys in the next one.